I turn to the right and I turn to the left. I hear a clicking noise. That's a classic sign of a bad drive axle. I know what you're thinking, it's a pickup truck. Well, it's a four-wheel drive. It has drive axles just like a front-wheel drive does. Today on Tech Garage, we'll tackle this drive axle debacle. Welcome to Tech Garage, presented by Advance Auto Parts. Well, I'm driving around in our GMC Sierra, turn to the right or left, and I got a faint click. But when I lock it in four-wheel drive and turn, it gets a lot more distinctive. That's a classic sign of a bad drive axle. Brian, we got two options at this point. We can turn the radio up a little louder, or we can diagnose and fix this one. I think we should choose the latter of the two.
Probably should. You know, I like good music as much as the next guy, but I think this probably warrants a repair. So I'll tell you what the big clue was when you said the clicking sound, and you've all heard it. You want to know where to start. That immediately took me to the CV axles. Now, I inspected the driver's side, but over here on the passenger side, John, check this out. I looked at the top boot, no leaking, no lubricant, anything, no cracks right there. And on the back side of this lower boot, it looks good, but when I come around here, you can see right here, there's a split in the boot. And it's just starting to weep some fluid right there. And so there's dirt inbound. That's a replacement, right?
Regardless if it's clicking or not, when that boot's torn, you're gonna have to replace that. And you know what, Brian? I got a demo set up over here so we can see inside a drive axle and why it's clicking. Why don't you tell them how you're gonna do it, and I'll get over here.
Awesome. This is a big job. Bring your heavy-duty friends, a breaker bar, a sledge, you're gonna need that. Tell you what, we gotta separate the upper ball joint up here. We've got to drop the tie rod out right here, and ultimately we'll pull this cap off and get to this end axle nut. That's where you're going to need some breaker bar help and support. So heavy duty lifting over here. I'm going to get this started, but I'll tell you what we're going to do differently today. We're going to lower this truck down and do this job at jack stand height like you're going to be doing in your driveway. So let me get this thing down, get it underway, and John's going to show you how it all works.
Of course, Brian. What is a CV axle and why is it clicking? Here's the drive axle we're actually putting on the pickup truck. And this end here is going to the front differential. This is a plunge joint. It moves in and out and changes lengths effectively to compensate for suspension movement. The other one's a fixed joint. This one's going out there to a spindle. That moves back and forth. The cool part is this cutaway right here. You can see the plunge joint. And these are called a tripod tool-up right here. And there's 3 rollers on here. And that moves with suspension because it's going to go up and down. If you have a drive shaft, the yoke will do it on that end. Now over here is the cool part. This is what you can see. These are the ball bearings in here. When we're turning to the left or right, they're clicking. Why? Because they're just becoming loose, worn, or the slit in that boot's actually going to cause grease to go out, dirt to get in there and contaminate, and it's going to click as it turns. So we're going to have to replace that over on our pickup truck. Let's see how he's coming along.
All right, I'm going to start by separating the tie rod end here. There's the nut. A little upward tension here in my arm. I'm going to see if I can knock this loose by pulling up. And there we go. All right, that's out. Now we're going to move up here to the upper ball joint. I've also got this loose. A couple spins with the nut. Okay, got this nut just about ready to come off. Now make sure you're clear, your kneecaps are clear from this when it separates. You want a good pry bar to get up in here and get some leverage. So we're going to create some upward pressure in this control arm. Get up in here, no brake hose, not hitting anything. Want to pry up, lift up, a couple smacks square. There we go. So we got that out. Now we've got some flexibility here. Get this up out of the way. We're going to work on this axle nut. Now this too, heavy lifting. Good heavy duty socket. Get your breaker bar, maybe a buddy, and then good trick, drop a screwdriver right down through the rotor. Let's see if we get a little bit of torque here. There we go, there's one. All right, keep working this off. And then we're ready to pull that CV axle out. Okay, now up to the mounting flange here at the top of the CV axle. So get myself some access, 15mm socket, and a gun. We'll get this going. All right, come in and start with the bottom here first. Good. First one out. Move up. There's 5 bolts here total. Take your time, work them out. So we'll get all these out. We'll retract this axle. We're going to put the new one in, essentially reverse the procedure. Torque specs mean a lot here, so take your time, do it right. Stay with us. More to come on Tech Garage, presented by Advance Auto Parts.